what modern celebrities might look like if they were Marilyn Monroe. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy. Marilyn Monroe is one of the most iconic figures in Hollywood history. But behind the glamorous image was a life filled with struggle, ambition, and mystery. She was born as Norma Jean Mortensen in 1926. Her childhood was far from the fame she later achieved. She grew up in foster homes and orphanages, never knowing a stable family life. This difficult beginning shaped much of her personality and insecurities later in life. Her journey into fame began almost by accident. During World War II, she worked in a factory when a photographer discovered her. This led to her first modeling jobs, and soon she changed her name to Marilyn Monroe, a name that would become legendary. Despite being known as a blonde bombshell, Monroe was far more intelligent than people gave her credit for. She loved reading and studied literature and acting seriously. She even founded her own production company in 1955, which was extremely rare for a woman at that time. One of her most famous moments came from the movie The 7-Year Itch, where her white dress was blown upward by a subway grate. This scene became one of the most recognizable images in film history. Monroe worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and starred in films like Some Like It Hot, which is still considered one of the greatest comedies ever made. Her performance in that film earned her a Golden Globe Award. Behind the scenes, however, Monroe struggled with anxiety, depression, and insomnia. She often relied on medication to cope with stress and the pressure of fame. Her personal life was just as complicated. She was married 3 times, including to baseball legend Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller. Both relationships were intense and widely covered by the media. Another fascinating aspect of her life was her connection to powerful figures of her time. She was rumored to have had relationships with influential political figures, including John F. Kennedy. Her performance of Happy Birthday, Mr. President remains one of the most talked about moments in American cultural history. Another lesser-known fact about Marilyn Monroe is that she was deeply interested in self-improvement. She attended acting classes at the prestigious Actors Studio in New York, where she studied under renowned coach Lee Strasberg. Monroe wanted to be taken seriously as an actress, not just a Hollywood symbol, and she worked hard to refine her craft. She also had a strong sense of independence. At a time when studios controlled nearly every aspect of an actor's life, Monroe pushed back. She negotiated better contracts and demanded more creative control, which was extremely rare for women in the 1950s. Her efforts helped pave the way for future generations of actresses. Monroe constantly fought against being typecast as just a pretty face. She wanted serious roles and respect as an actress, and she worked hard to prove herself in more dramatic performances. Tragically, her life ended at the age of 36 in 1962. Her death was officially ruled as a probable overdose, but it has remained surrounded by mystery and speculation for decades. Despite her short life, Marilyn Monroe left an enormous legacy. She became a symbol of beauty, fame, and the darker side of Hollywood. Her image is still recognized worldwide, and she continues to influence fashion, film, and pop culture. Her story is not just about glamour, it's about resilience, vulnerability, and the price of fame. For women especially, Hollywood was both an opportunity and a trap. While it created stars like Monroe, it also limited them to certain roles and expectations. Breaking out of those stereotypes required courage, something Monroe constantly struggled with. The 1950s defined modern celebrity culture, and figures like Marilyn Monroe became timeless symbols of that era, icons whose influence continues to shape entertainment, even today.
Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on the bell.